getting out of your comfort zone, being resilient, and just allowing yourself to be honest is kind of the first step. And then guess what will happen? When you get honest, guess what's going to happen? The door is going to appear and you're going to have to take the action to walk through it because someone's going to come into your life to give you an opportunity to change it. And it might be really uncomfortable, but at the same time, that's your opportunity.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. And again, if you're listening, just have the courage to reach out, right? Whether that's to Jesse, myself, somebody else, you need to reach out to somebody if you really feel like you need that support. Jesse, you're an author of 2 books. Most recently, if not you, then who? And I believe the other one is How to Smash Your Comfort Zone Using Cold Showers. I'm curious, with if not you, then who? What's the primary sort of message there, and what were you looking to accomplish in authoring this book? It's no small feat to become an author. It's one of those dreams I have someday, but I haven't taken the time to do because I know it's hard, right? To really get your thoughts out there and to publish something for many reasons. But why take the time to write this book, and what were you really looking to accomplish, and what's the main message of this book?
Yeah, so this book is, I do believe every person has a book inside of them. I do subscribe to that belief. And I had a book in me to write, and it was this book. There was this, there was this story that I would tell, especially at 22 being arrested. And I would share these, and people would be like, man, I'd really like to hear that whole story because I think it could help my brother, my uncle, my aunt, someone I know. And so I had it in me for many years to tell that part of the story. But I didn't have the second half of the story yet, which was the toolkit people could use to get out of those situations. And that took my whole second half to, like I said, ask for help, get mentors, get coaches. And and that's how the second half of the book really get written. The first half of the book is my story. It's just told most authentically as I can, all of it, the arrests, the traumas, all of it. And then the whole second half of the book is a toolkit. The whole second half, not one chapter, the whole second half is all these tools I learned from my mentors that were in the recovery space and not in the recovery space. A lot of the toolkit is for entrepreneurs. It's for people who are intrapreneurs. It's for anyone. And that's why when people read my book who are quote unquote don't have addiction, which I believe everyone does, they go, whoa, this really helped me. I was actually surprised. And I'm like, why were you surprised? And that's kind of like my dialogue. It's like, it's universal. This is universal. And the principles and the toolkit I have, many of it is universal. And so the book is really just the book I had in me to write. And then my friend, Dr. Danny Friedland, rest in peace. He came into my life at a moment right before he was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And he said to me, what can I do to help you? And I said, to be honest, I've been putting off a book for like 3 years. And he put me in contact with a close friend, Amanda Rooker, and her company. And I coached with her. We wrote it in 10 months. The pandemic hit, and I wrote the book in 10 months during COVID with this person for accountability. And I wrote the best possible book I could write at the time. And now who knows what the next one will be? It is definitely being written right now. But this book is like, if not you, then who? No one's coming to save you. It's you. You have to go out and open the door. You have to go out and ask for help. It's you. And so you have to be the one to come up with new solutions for the pandemic, for the epidemic of addiction, for all of it. It's you. And that's kind of the point of my book. And that's what I realized. I was waiting for others to like come and help people and solve the fentanyl crisis. And it's like, oh my God, no, it's literally me. Like I have to be entrepreneurial about this. And that's kind of the second half of the book is about that.
That's amazing. And what a great message, right? If not you, then who? And no one's coming to save you. And how often are we just, I think especially these days kind of stuck in this perpetual adolescence, as a society, where, there's just a bunch of 35-year-old, 15-year-olds, getting out there, 45-year-old, 15-year-olds or 55, 15-year-olds. And we just never grew up. Right. And it's like, we have to, if we want to make any sort of change in the world, which obviously if you're listening to this show, you have that sort of drive in you. And if you're on this show, Jesse, you have the drive in you. We have to be the ones who step up. So thank you for that. Walk me through, some of the work that it's kind of a cool story of how we met, right? Because we had an opportunity to interact fairly briefly. It was like a weekend event with John Berghoff, and I remember having a great time and learning so much. I know you're integrally, kind of connected with him in that community. Um, and also, I remember you just getting started at that moment, and I was like, "This guy's got something." Like, I really like him. I'm rooting for him. And then to watch you over the last several years, take ideas and turn them into businesses, take ideas and turn them into success stories, has been really cool to watch. And also, I don't even know half the story. So, fill me in on like what are some of the successes that you've experienced? I know you work with eye care. I know you work with the state of Georgia. Obviously you're a published author. So, like, talk to us about entrepreneurship and how this all you kind of bridge the gap into that.
Yeah, so you definitely met me at a time in the early part of the journey where I had just
Mhm.
left my job and I was trying to figure things out. And you know, the name of my business is Entrepreneurs in Recovery. So
Mhm.
like when people hear that word recovery, I think in the beginning they were kind of like, "Oh, I'm not in recovery." But now as they get to know me, they're like, "Oh, damn, I am in recovery. I'm in recovery from workaholism. I'm in recovery from just being stuck in perfectionism." And so that company name that I chose, it's becoming more fitting as time comes on. But when you met me, I was still trying to figure things out, and I was doing a lot of work directly at sober living homes and addiction treatment centers and mental health centers and drug courts, and that turned out to be fruitful because that laid a foundation with an audience that really was suffering, and if to be able to bring it to that audience first and then eventually get to businesses and whole systems, it was really, really fruitful to be able to meet
Mhm.
and create psychological safety for all groups, whether it was someone just starting out or someone who is a C-level exec or an entrepreneur. So, that journey